Alexithymia is described as an inability to sense, feel, and express emotions. And if you'd have asked me a year ago if I had alexithymia, I would have said no, because honestly, I feel big feelings all the time. And I usually know when I'm feeling those feelings. But for me, I've realized since my diagnosis and conversations with my therapist around alexithymia that I do experience alexithymia. It's just a little different than the typical definition if you're taking it literally. Hi, my name is Heather. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, if you're returning, thank you very much. I always appreciate the support. I am a late diagnosed autistic and ADHD female. I have sensory processing disorder, alexithymia, and some other chronic illness issues. And I have created this channel as a space to help neurodivergent people thrive in their life and learn how to experience things by sharing my own experiences. So I appreciate you being here and any interaction that you may give throughout this content. Talking about alexithymia, it literally translates to you don't know how to experience your feelings, or you don't know how to express your feelings. And if you'd have asked me if I had that, of course I would have said no, because I've always had huge feelings. And I do know how to say, yes, I'm sad today, or I'm angry today, or whatever the case may be. But I've realized, working with my therapist, that I do not actually experience feelings in the same way that others do, nor do I describe them in the same way that others do. I have often named these big feelings something that I can relate to, but maybe other people don't understand. If you would look at a chart of faces and feelings, something that you would maybe show a child or show an autistic person to help them understand and identify those feelings in other people and in themselves, they're the very basic feelings, you know, sad, angry, happy, but it doesn't really encompass a lot of the feelings that I experience that I have given simple little names to. Some of those feelings are things like existential dread, and of course we all kind of know what that is, but I think that for a lot of autistic people is a pretty constant feeling, that feeling of just not wanting to exist in your body today, and maybe there's no absolute reason for it, but it just is there. Then for me, we have puppy syndrome, which would be the object permanence issue, where, you know, a puppy, when you leave him home alone, he really thinks you're never coming back. And honestly, I felt like that a lot in my life with people. If I don't see you, sometimes you don't exist. And sometimes I think you feel the same way about me, that if we're not making constant contact physically or in text or whatever, that you just don't think I exist anymore. And sometimes that's a little weird and scary, and I'm not really sure how to relate that into an actual feeling. Then in periods of sensory overwhelm, or when my body is not feeling well because I do have chronic illness issues, I have the feeling of everything's wrong, but I don't know why. That can translate to sadness, anger, discomfort, all of those rolled into one. So that's, for me, a feeling. It's a cluster of feelings, but it is one feeling that I experience pretty frequently. Then we have the I've got to do something, but I can't do anything feeling. It's a feeling of your body actually feels propelled toward doing something, anything to make your body feel better, but your brain won't let you pursue it. You absolutely cannot get up and do it. It's akin to a freeze response almost, as a trauma response, and maybe that is what it is, but for me, that feeling occurs a lot. I don't know if that's the ADHD or the Autism or which one that might be, but it's a pretty common feeling. Often I experience overwhelming sadness for no good reason. Maybe it's hormonal, maybe it's situational, and maybe there's absolutely nothing that precipitated it, but it is a huge, huge feeling that overtakes me quite often. I don't think it's depression because it doesn't go on for extended periods of time. So I don't really know how I would identify that feeling if someone were to ask me when I was actively in it, other than I'm just sad today. And when I'm not masking, I do get asked about my feelings a lot. I get asked, are you okay? Pretty often, because my face is not okay, because I'm not monitoring it. If I'm putting a smile on, nobody's asking me how I'm doing. If I let that slip, then I'm being asked all the time. And I know people experience alexithymia in many different ways. I've worked with many different levels of people with autism, and there are some people that are just completely incapable of expressing their feelings verbally. But there are different signs and signals that I've noticed in the people that I relate to with the higher support needs autism that indicate that there is something wrong, something different, and something that needs to be attended to within their body and within themselves. And I think that taking more time with people that have that level of alexithymia, that are incapable of verbally expressing it, and learning to, if you are somebody in their life, learning to kind of pick up on the signs and signals that something is wrong, is very helpful. But to help them explore their feelings and how to maybe rectify situations that seem out of their control. For me, it's been years and years of trying to find peace and some sort of balance and level within my own emotionality and my own feelings. And I realize that just because I am aware that I'm feeling something doesn't mean that I am able to appropriately convey to someone else what I am feeling at that time. And that really is what alexithymia is. I hope that this has been helpful for you. Maybe you can do some exploration on yourself if you experience these same types of things, and share with me in the comments what maybe big feelings you have that you've given names to. I'd be interested to see if anyone else has these experiences. And again, I appreciate you watching, listening, interacting with the content. Thank you very much for helping me build this space and for joining me in my journey.